Sup guys, it's your boy Justin back with a new movie review. Today I'm reviewing the 2014 thriller action film Left Behind, which is an hour and 50 minutes starring Nicolas Cage as Rayford Steele, Chad Michael Murray as Cameron Buck Williams, and Cassie Thompson as Chloe Steele. And Leah Thompson is in the movie, who you might recognize from Howard the Duck and the Back to the Future, Back from the Future. Was it Back to the Future? Yeah, those movies. So yeah, this is directed by Vic Armstrong, who has only done like two other movies: Joshua Tree, there's a Dolph Lundgren film from 1993, and A Sunday Horse. Yeah, so yeah. He's a British director. So, the reason why I watched this movie, despite how bad the reviews for this movie when it first came out, was because Kevin Sorbo, Hercules himself, and Captain Dylan Hunt, from the Andromeda show, which was, if you haven't seen Andromeda, it's a pretty cool sci-fi show. It's like a mix of Farscape, Farscape had a lot of Buck Rogers feels, but like it was like a mix of Farscape and like what was that show? Firefly, kinda, right? And yeah, he's Kevin Sorbo is promoting the sequel that he's going to star and direct, because obviously they couldn't get Nicolas Cage back. And I saw like a pretty crazy interview he did on BitChute, which he was only in like the first 20 minutes of the video, right? But holy crap, the new movie Left Behind, Rise of the Antichrist, which is coming out on January 26th in theaters, sounds like it's going to be crazy, and I can't wait to watch it. So I had to go back and watch this movie, right? Which is based off a book series from I don't know what year it came out. Because 1995 was the first movie. First book came out. Which is written by Tim LaHaye and Jerry B. Jenkins, who Jerry B. Jenkins also, I think, produced like a lot of Christian movies, and wrote a lot of Christian movies. So I'm gonna try my best not to curse this review. Yeah. So yeah, he did like God's Not Dead, like stuff like that. Right, which I still haven't seen those movies. So yeah, I had to go and watch this film, right? Which this movie, obviously, everybody pretty much is going to know this movie is about the rapture, the Christian apocalypse, right? So the movie starts off with at an airport where Chloe Steele, who is the college student daughter of Nicolas Cage character, came back from college and is going through like spiritual problems, right? She's really pissed off at her Bible thumper mom, right? Which that's I'm just painting a picture here, guys. Because she blames her Bible thumping mom for ruining her parents' relationship, right? And her dad is Rayford Steele, who is a pilot who's on the verge of getting divorced from his wife. Who on the same day that his daughter came home back from college, he goes to work to take a flight to London, and he's telling his family, I have to go, I can't, it's for work. When really he's planning a date with his hot air stewardess Hattie Durham's the character, which I thought her name was Patty. Yeah, it's Hattie, and she's like a hot blonde stewardess, and he's taking her to the U2 concert. Which when I heard that, I'm like, oh my god, U2, like what a boomer band. Oh my god, they could, and yeah, you could tell they were kind of behind the times on this one, right? And that's, and the funny thing, like in the airport, like Chloe knows right away her dad's like cheating on his mom because one of his coworkers gave the tickets to Chloe to get to her dad, right? Yeah, and like, you know, while she's at the airport, she meets the Chad Michael Murray's character, who's like a famous video journalist, right? Who's famous for like reporting at, like, you know, at natural disasters, right? Like there's a scene where he's at the airport, a bunch of people recognize him, and this crazy Bible lady goes up to ask him, like, you know, Bible questions, and is like saying like, don't you think that we're in the end times now because all the natural disasters going on, right? And he's like, you know, he's like, lady, what, you know, whatever. He's trying to be polite, and like, yeah, Cassie Thompson's character, who's like an Australian actress, goes up to her and is like, oh, if God's real, why is he, like, you know, killing all these people, blah blah blah, right? So, oh my god, so like, yeah, so they after that, Cameron's character connects with Chloe, right, and like he gets the tickets from her to get to her dad, right? Yeah, so the movie takes place, you know, there's like two points of views of the movie. You have Rayford Steele flying the plane to London, right? And you have Chloe Steele on the ground. When something weird happens, right? People just start disappearing. Random people and like kids. All the kids disappear, leaving only a pile of clothes and personal effects. And that, like, while they're flying to London, like, everybody is freaking out. The plane almost crashed, like, you know, steers out of control because, like, Rayford Steele was busy flirting with the air stewardess while his Christian co-pilot was flying the plane, right? Who he disappears. All the kids disappear, right? Including the air marshal. Where there's a scene where you see the air marshal's gun in its holster, and then, like, later on it disappears, right? And there's this complete panic on the plane, right? 'Cause, like, at one point, like, somebody gets a hold of the gun and starts, you know, threatening people, right? But like the main drama of the film, despite all the looting, all the like crazy stuff that's going on the ground because of the mass panic, because of like crap load of people just disappeared, millions, right? The Nicolas Cage character has to land the plane, has to find a way to land this plane after the plane almost has an in-air collision with another plane where both pilots, I guess, were Christians and vanished, right? So I don't want to spoil too much, but the movie, I don't want to spoil too much, but I thought the movie had some nice thriller scenes, though the action scenes were not great. The main action were not shot the greatest, what I meant to say. But the main climax of the movie is Nicolas Cage trying to find a place to land, right? And his daughter, like, you know, clearing, like, you know, an empty stretch of highway in the middle of the night for him to land the plane, right? Okay, so let's go into my likes and dislikes of the movie. first off, I would say the premise is a cool premise. It had this like sci-fi kind of mystery element to the film. I like the scenes where like where you saw characters like the scenes where like characters like the Cameron Williams character, the captain, like even some of the people in first class take a hold of situation, trying to like keep people from panicking, like taking hold of the situation, trying to figure out okay what's going on. Apparently, I did find it funny that out of all people on the plane, the first person to figure out what was going on was like was the junkie who was like smuggling heroin onto the plane, right? So I thought, oh my god, that was weird. That was weird. And for the people, like, this movie got some flack from the other day for being like, that this movie got like xenophobia, like claims against it. But there were like 2 Muslim people on the plane in the first class section, like a guy and his dad, right? And the dad disappeared. So like people were saying like, oh, it wasn't like, only the Christians went to heaven, and the kids went to heaven. No, like there were non-Christians in the movie that went to heaven, right? Yeah, I'm just saying. Yeah, so like I don't know. If you're someone who likes, sci-fi like mystery plots, it had like a cool sci-fi mystery plot kind of feel. And I was surprised like to see like how much like the movie had a decent sense of scale. And the acting in the movie was with the main leads were okay, right? Like Nicolas Cage did a great job. Michael Murray did a good job. There's a very tense scene where a lady, somebody got a hold of a gun and is like threatening to shoot people, like demanding where like her kid is at, right? We're bringing back my kid. You guys drugged me, landed the plane, took my kid, and, whatever, right? So it's like they had to deal with like a hysterical woman, right? And then the scenes where like that scene was cool, and like the scenes where like where like Nicolas Cage had to deal with like had some problem solving to do in the movie was cool. Like the scenes where he was flying the plane were good. Like him trying to figure out, because like all the instruments on the plane weren't working for some reason. I guess after the collision. So he has like the Michael Murray character's like, go check the wing, go check the tail. Trying to. And there's a scene where like people were panicking. So apparently he could like at the cockpit he can depressurize the cabin, forcing people to go sit on their seat and put the air masks on or whatever. I didn't know like pilots could do that. Right? Yeah. Okay, so now I'm just gonna go to the dislikes of the movie. Tonally, there was some like the music at times did not fit the tone of the movie. Like there's like scenes where like the beginning of the movie has this like happy like jingle or whatever, happy sounding like jingle, and it plays during the scene where Nicolas Cage takes his wedding ring off and goes to like say hi to his like to the air stewardess, right? Who like, oh my god, like she was very like what's a polite way for saying she was very she wanted to look her best for the captain. She put red lipstick on, like her her cleavage was so unbuttoned, like her shirt was like unbuttoned, right? Oh my god. So like yeah. And by the way, I don't know. I feel like in real life, she probably this kind of thing like probably wouldn't care that the captain was Nicolas Cage was married. Yeah. So other problems with the movie. The movie does. I don't know. Like the movie first half an hour of the movie's a little boring, right? But after the first half an hour, the movie does pick up, right? The movie does pick up. Though there was some action scenes near the end of the movie that was kind of amateur. Like there was some amateurish shots where like there's a scene where where Cassie Thompson's Chloe Steele's character has to ride a motorcycle, and they did their best to hide the way they shot the motorcycle scenes. They obviously they would cut off her head. Her head would be out of frame. They wouldn't shoot her from the back. Like it was clearly they had they couldn't get a look-alike, so they're just this put somebody in their clothes and just have them drive around. Then there's a scene where she's driving a truck, right, when she's crashing through stuff, and they have camcorders on the rear view mirrors or something, and the video quality did not match the rest of the movie. Right, so they made, oh my god, yeah. There's this very cringe song at the end of the movie, like Christian music, country music, which I did not like at all. It was very cringe. I forgot to mention two things I did like about the movie. Was they did some cool foreshadowing of the movie, right? Like the scene where you actually did when Nicolas Cage actually figures out what the heck is going on in the movie. Yeah, he is his breakdown, right? Right, because there was some cool detective work in the movie, right? Trying to figure out what was going on, and they did some really cool foreshadowing, right? Where Cassie Thompson's character goes to a church, finds her local pastor, and is like, hey, well, and she's like, at first she's relieved that he's still around, because she was even thinking that it was the rapture, right? Because she went into she broke into the children's ward of a hospital looking for her brother, and didn't find any. There was no kids, no babies, no nothing, right? And so she was even like, oh my god, it must have been the rapture. But when she sees the pastor, she's like, oh, thank God, if he's still around, then it can't be the rapture, right? He's like, no, it's the rapture. Right? No, it's the rapture. I'm still here because I didn't believe in this stuff. And it's like, oh crap. And there was a cool scene where okay, if this was the rapture, why are you still here? And why would God kill them, right? God didn't kill. And he's like, God didn't kill them. He saved them. She's like, oh, save them from what? From what's coming, because from what's coming, which is that they're setting up the final battle between good versus evil. That's in Christian mythology. It's in it's in the Revelations, right? So and the second name of the book, which is the title of the new movie coming out, is The Rise of the Antichrist, where we're gonna the fucking devil's sorry, the devil's coming. Oh my god. I had one curse. I'm sorry. Okay, but yeah, there was some good scenes in the movie, decent scenes in the movie, and the movie just. I noticed that there wasn't. I don't remember any cursing in the movie at all. I think the movie. Does this movie have a PG rating or something? I don't know. But yeah, the movie. It's a very wholesome movie, and it's nice to have a movie like this where you can just watch it. It's an action thriller that you can watch with your family in a Sunday afternoon or something. But yeah, the movie can be boring at times, and the music was not good. The music was not good. Thank God later on during some action scenes they didn't play the stupid happy melody jingle again. Oh my god! But that country song at the end was like, oh my god, so cringe. Yeah, but overall, the movie has its problems. But if you're somebody, if you're like somebody who's into like, you know, because movie almost has like a sci-fi element to it. Like, if you're like movies where, you know, like kind of sci-fi mystery movies where, like, you know, someone's like trying to figure out, okay, what the heck is going on and how do we fix it, and like that kind of you know, premise, you know, I would say the movie's worth watching at least once, if right. But like, you know, in the right, you know, environment, because he's yeah. So I don't know. I enjoyed this. I enjoyed the movie that much, but I did think it was a decent watch. But I am hyped to see the sequel, because the sequel, according to that interview with Kevin Sorbo, if you haven't seen that interview, it's on BitChute. It's called the I think it's on. Oh my god, I forget the lady's name, but it's like, just look up Kevin Sorbo interview Left Behind, Rise of the Antichrist, and you'll find it. That interview was crazy, man, because like the lady brought up like you know, like I believe we're in the end times, and you know, the news has been talking about UFOs and stuff, and I think they're gonna do like a psyop where they're gonna blame aliens on the rapture, when it's really going to be the rapture. And Kevin Sorbo was like, for people who think he's not a good actor, watch this interview, because he's like, he takes what she said with a straight face and then like spins what her statement was, and like made it answered it at the same time promoting his movie, like master crafty acting right there. Yeah. So yeah. In my opinion, I think if your thing were like, you know, if you want to watch like a you know, if you're a Christian, or you're like, you know, you're kind of in between, and you're like, you just want a wholesome movie to watch with the family, but at the same time that's not, you know, that has an interesting premise, you know, then I would say check out the movie. Alright guys, peace.